Welcome to another episode of the Ecosystem Podcast. I'm Sash Mukherjee, Principal Analyst for Industry Research at Ecosystem, and today we resume our conversation with Tim Sheedy, Principal Advisor with Ecosystem. In the previous episode, Tim spoke to us about the growing relevance of conversational commerce. Welcome back, Tim.
Thanks, Sash.
So let's just carry the conversation forward. And now let's focus on organizations' investment priorities in 2021. In the recently conducted Ecosystem Zendesk study, we find that nearly 70% of organizations in Singapore have not gone back anywhere near the pre-pandemic levels of business performance. So is there anything else, Tim, that you found interesting in the study results that you would like to share?
Absolutely. It was a fascinating study to sort of understand the current state of customer experience and digital experience here in Singapore. We found that, first of all, organizations' priorities are returning to those pre-pandemic priorities. So customer experience, which didn't drop off the agenda completely, but it dropped off that number one spot that it was in 2019. It's back at number one, right? And some other interesting findings around the study is this link between business performance and their focus on the customer and their investment in creating a better customer experience and the technologies and capabilities around that. And we found, I guess it's not surprising, but what was really interesting is seeing a very strong link between the businesses that are performing well right now, the ones that are, pulling out of the pandemic faster than others, are the ones who have customer experience right at the top of their priority list and the ones who are investing in improving that customer experience and continually driving a better experience for customers and employees. Whereas those organizations who are struggling, I can nearly guarantee you that nearly every one of the ones that we spoke to that is saying that we're not going to really return to growth until 2022 perhaps, or the end of 2021, they are organizations who are reducing their customer experience spend, that don't have as big a focus on the customer, that are trying to compete on price and product and what things I call sort of last generation competitive advantage. Yeah. Some really interesting correlations between the spend and the budget organizations are putting towards customer experience and their success in Singapore at the moment.
Right. So what you were telling organizations is that this might be the perfect time to increase their CX spend, which is interesting. But what I think organizations would really like to know is where they need to focus that spend on.
Yeah, look, absolutely. We sort of see some major areas of focus for organizations in Singapore. Now, the Singaporean customer is getting much more sophisticated and expecting a great experience across all the touch points, right? A consistent experience and an optimized experience across all the touch points. So this spend on Omnichannel, the focus on creating a great Omnichannel experience, is sort of gone from something that was nice to have a couple of years ago to something which is going to be absolutely crucial to the success of your business in 2021 and going forward. Another big area of focus that we are seeing for organizations in Singapore is improving their knowledge management systems. So a lot of Singaporean businesses have knowledge management systems in place, but when we spoke to them and said, well, where do you actually go? If you're a customer service agent, where do you go to get information when a customer asks a question that you don't have an answer for? They didn't say their knowledge management systems. They said, I go and I interrupt another colleague, right? I go and ask my manager for that answer, right? So what we're seeing is that the knowledge management systems in place aren't giving answers to questions, right? And the other challenge is that we're seeing you're getting different answers depending on the touch point, depending on the channel. You go into a store, you get one answer to a question. You call the contact center, you get a different answer. I'm sure we've all experienced that. So that focus on trying to provide a consistent customer experience across Omnichannel also means providing the right information and the right knowledge and the right answers out to each one of those touch points and channels. And so that's why we're seeing a significant focus on knowledge management spend in Singapore in 2021.
Yeah, it's really interesting that you should mention knowledge management systems. I've lived in Singapore for the last 12 years, and I'm in equal parts amazed with the digital customer service that we've gotten used to here, and shocked at how hard it is to get, some fairly simple requests through sometimes. Like I've been trying to get my telco provider to remove an email address for the last 3 years, and it hasn't yet happened. So I think a lot of this is down to not having a single source of truth on customers. Uh,
Absolutely.
yeah. So apart from omnichannel and knowledge management, where else should Singapore organizations focus their CX budget and energies on?
So the data is actually showing that more than half the businesses that we spoke to in Singapore are moving their customer service platforms across to the cloud. And they're doing it for very clear reasons. They're finding that their legacy systems just can't keep up with the speed of the customer today, right? That we all need to be with the customer or ahead of them, and the legacy systems can't keep up with them, right? We don't have the opportunity anymore to do 1, 2, 3 year projects to update our systems and processes. So they're moving to the cloud to be able to give them that agility and speed of change that the cloud's going to be able to provide for them in their customer service space. But the other area which is interesting because of the change in spend is around AI. Now, as little as 18 months ago, AI was a new area of spend for a lot of businesses in Singapore, right? A lot of businesses were just dipping their toes in the water. Now that has changed completely in the last year or two. Now, having smart processes, particularly around your customer experience and your customer service team, is now just an expectation, right? And the majority of businesses that we interviewed are now investing in AI. So we highly recommend that you deepen your AI investment. If you haven't made deep investments already, you're actually behind now. Mm-hmm. AI, is no longer a massive differentiator. It's just what you do to keep up. But there are still plenty of areas in AI where we can push our customer experience, improve it, create really personalized, optimized experiences for customers to get them coming back to us, to get them spending more, to get them talking about us to their customers. And helping to grow our business and help us return to growth.
Right. As usual, Tim, great insights. It's always a pleasure talking to you, and I wish we had more time. So thank you.
Cool. Thank you, Sash.
And thank you all for listening in, and hope Tim's advice helps you shape your customer experience strategies in 2021. For more insights on Singapore's digital customer experience maturity, visit blog.ecosystem360.com. Thank you.